Action.
Hi, how are you guys doing? I know you haven't heard a whole lot from me. You have heard my music. JT Apollo. What I'm trying to do is not just, not just be somebody up on stage, but I want to be a product. JT Apollo is a musical movement, and just trying to introduce some of the things that I do to you guys. First of all, I want to say hello to all my family and all my friends and all my fans all at one time. And hopefully we can, kick this thing off right and involve everybody from the beginning to the end. So much for the talk. Let's get the music.
About it, you need to have a little fun.
Kansas City, Missouri is where I was born. I was raised up there in Kansas City, Missouri, pretty much by my grandparents. I lived with my grandparents from the time I was from the time I was about 3 years old, all the way up until the time I was 13 years old, and that's when we moved to Minneapolis, Minnesota. I tell people this all the time, man. When it was time for church to open, I was there, and he was putting the key in. When it was time for church to close, I was there, still was there, and when he was locking it up at night. So I got that foundation. That's probably will be with me the rest of my life. It probably from the era of the late 70s, early 80s. I have a few favorite artists that are my favorite of all times. I'm going to say in the number one spot, it would have to be Stevie Wonder. I do a lot of trying to emulate Stevie, not only in his writing style, but in his the style of trying to relay a message at the same time. That's one real big one. Stevie Wonder, and of course James Brown with everything on the one, that kind of stuff. And man, there's so many. Chaka Khan, for instance, for her the way she stacks her vocals and all of that, and the list goes on and on. Earth, Wind, and Fire. So you can probably hear a little bit of all those groups in my music, and hopefully you can hear a little bit more of that message that I'm trying to relay in the music also. So I emulate, or I should say, I involve a lot of different artists in the whole recipe of me making my music. Joined the family band when I was it had to be like 17, 18 years old. They were a show group from the north side of Minneapolis, and I stayed with that group a good 15, 16 years. Then after that, in 79, I finally figured out that there was a little more to music, and I wanted to begin to write music in 79, and ever since 79 up until present, I have at least recorded at least one song a year since '79, and since then I've produced music for a local record label here in Minneapolis, I should say, in Minnetonka. And for that record label, I actually produced 10 albums, and that's funny too, because they offered me to produce albums for them. They offered me $5,000 per album, and they're thinking I probably won't be able to do an album maybe every 2 or 3 months. But what I did was I kicked it up a notch, and I was turning out an album every 3 weeks finished, just so I could get that money. And so they didn't really like that. And when it was time to renew my contract, they didn't want to renew my contract because I guess I was making the money too fast. But I still I still kept on writing and recording songs after that. And pretty much to fast forward, that's what brought me here to this point I'm at right now.
Your loving, baby, I want it to be right. I wanna write a song that drives your perfect loving crazy, 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 crazy. It's the kind of song that makes lovers love. It's the kind of song sent from heavens up above. It's the kind of song that makes you wanna love your lover, lover. Intimacy, now that the queen of song. Ah, baby, baby. Intimacy, it's the play all day long. Oh, baby, it's the kind of song that makes lovers love. It's the kind of song, it's the kind of song, it's the kind of song sent from heavens up above. It's the kind of song, it's the kind of song, it's the kind of song that makes you wanna love.
I started playing music ain't no probably about it. I started playing music when I was 7 years old. My mother actually wanted me to get into something, and she insisted that I take piano lessons. I took piano lessons, although it didn't last that long, because I thought I knew more than the teacher, which was not true. But anyways, I was doing that because I didn't want to do it. So my piano lessons didn't last that long. But the next time I played, actually I played in church with the little church band. Church had a band for the kids choir, and I played in that a little bit. And then from there I went to junior high school. That was actually when I first came to Minnesota. I went to junior high school, and I was in school band in Minnesota. When I got here, they didn't actually have a place to play keyboards, so I had to play a horn, a horn instrument, or play instruments, drums. My mom was about to have the drums.
Crazy is the kind of song that makes lovers love. It's the kind of song sent from heavens up above. It's the kind of song that makes you wanna love your lover, lover. Intimacy, now that the queen of song. Ah, baby, baby. Intimacy, it's the play all day long. Oh, baby, it's the kind of
7 years old. My mother actually wanted me to get into something, and she insisted that I take piano lessons. I took piano lessons, and it didn't last that long. So I thought I knew more than the teacher, which was not true. But anyways, I was doing that because I didn't want to do it. So my piano lessons didn't last that long. But next time I played, actually I played in church, little church band, church had a band for the kids choir, and I played in that a little bit, and then from there I went to junior high school, and that's it.
Intimacy. Now that they're playing a song, ah, baby, baby, intimacy. Which they play all day long, oh, baby. It's the kind of song that makes lovers love. Intimacy, intimacy. It's the kind of song sent from heavens up above. Intimacy.
Okay, keep this laid back. Keep it way laid back, yeah. Yeah. Just like that.
Noonday jazz is what I'm selling. It's so cool. Yeah, don't have to stop for ice. Noonday jazz is how we like to do it. It makes you want to say there's nothing to it. Oh, it makes me want to kiss you like I used to. Caress your soft skin and wrap my arms around your waist. Noonday jazz. Hold it in the dark. Noonday jazz. Loving you in my heart.